Would you like a room? I'm so sorry. I probably shouldn't scare people like that. You must be dead tired. What? You want to know if I can see that in your face? No. No, my friend. What I see in your face is not a desire for sleep. It's a desire for death. The two are twins, you know. Just kidding.
This is going to be a tough review for me. Anyone who watches the Gregory Horror Show knows that most of the fun comes from finding out the series' twisted sense of humor and its plot for themselves. That being said, I want this review to be more than me just saying, here's a thing, go watch it. That would be stupid. So I guess the best thing I could do is describe the show while giving away as little as possible. The Gregory Horror Show is a CGI anime. Yes, they do exist. If that wasn't unusual enough, the first 2 seasons, which is all I'm pretty much reviewing here, take place entirely from the first-person point of view, which is unusual for anything outside of a video game. The 3rd and 4th seasons were departures from the norm, and as such I won't talk about them here. The first season follows a man, and the 2nd season follows a woman. Each of them have problems in their life, which I wouldn't exactly call uncommon. I'm not going to tell you what they are because that would spoil the fun. Each of our protagonists are wandering through the forest on a dark night until they come to a place called Gregory House. No, not that one! This one is a hotel run by an anthropomorphic mouse named Gregory. Through 25 2 to 4 minute episodes, the protagonist meets the other guests of the hotel and eventually tries to escape. The residents aren't the most friendly of characters either. They come across as manifestations of a primal fear, whether or not they actually pertain to the character at hand. Some of the fan favorites are Neko Zombie, Judgment Boy, and Hell's Chef. Hell's Chef is, as his title implies, a chef, and a manifestation of the fear of criticism. If you don't like the food he puts in front of you, you'll have to answer to his gigantic knife. The only thing that can stop him is blowing out the candle on his head. Yeah, that's probably the last thing on your mind when you're about to be hacked in two. Judgment Boy is my favorite character from the series, and I'd assume that he's the writer's favorite too, because he appears at least 4 times in just the first season alone. He represents the fear of consequences, split-second decisions. He'll ask you a question, which may or may not relate to the actual character's life.
You're a businessman. Today you will sign a major contract that will change your life. But your girlfriend who you love has just been hit by a car. If you go to the hospital, you'll lose that contract. Now, which will you choose?
You'll give the obvious answer.
I see. You say you choose to visit your girlfriend in the hospital. Is that so? Well, I say we should consult the balance of truth.
However, if there's even a second of doubt, then you will lose the game.
If you try to weigh your money against your love, there is no doubt your heart will start to sway. If you try to weigh your love against your money, your heart will start to break. Judgment now! You chose the contract, and in the meantime, your girlfriend dies alone in her hospital bed. It was your choice. You get to live with it.
One of the only allies that the protagonist has is a cat by the name of Neko Zombie. He's had a harsh past, and is one of the more tormented guests of the hotel. I won't go into details here, but if you have any animal friends of your own, the story of Neko Zombie's past is a bit hard to listen to. He also has an appetite for cell phones. That's
How dare you!
I'm starving! I need mousy in my belly!
another thing that I should mention. This series is strangely horror-comedy. It's a very unique combination, and it uses it well. A staple of the show is black comedy.
Well, well. Hello there. My son tells me you're ill. That's terrible. I know how you're feeling. I just can't seem to shake this splitting headache.
Pain, blood, and death especially are all something that deserve to be mocked and made light of. After all, death is the least of the problems of those who stay at Gregory House. The further on the seasons go, the more you'll learn about the hotel, its workings, and its inhabitants. Gregory may run the show, but he's not universally loved. I wouldn't call the horror aspect subtle, but instead of relying on jump scares, it tries to get in your head. I won't say that it's devoid of jump scares, in fact there's a character in it dedicated to doing just that. Here's the best comparison. If you like the Silent Hill video games, then this show is going to be right up your alley. The horror is primarily psychological. You'll never know it's real, or it's merely a fabrication of the house. In general, each episode has the protagonist meet a new resident of the house, or revisit an old one, get tormented by them, and a lesson is learned. Think friendship is magic, except straight from hell. They mess with your mind even more, because there's a grain of truth to these morals, and these morals are the ones that no one really wants to hear. Also, they could be just about anything. For example, the moral in the Cactus Gunman episode happens to be about war.
What? You don't know why you're in this duel? Are you willing to die because you can't find a reason to fight? Or will you draw your gun to survive? The decision is yours.
There's one episode that randomly takes place on a roller coaster.
Never assume that things will continue as they are.
Oh, and for some reason the Grim Reaper is Swedish. You know you're screwed when Death happens to be one of the friendliest characters you'll meet.
Those are your memories of his world, the ones you can't seem to forget.
With the exception of Neko Zombie, there's no truly benign member of Gregory House. Some are overtly sadistic, like Hell Chef and Catherine. Yeah, Catherine.
I know it looks shiny, but it's really very dull, and I'm going to pierce it into your red, juicy vein. Yes, now it's time for you to give me your blood.
Did I mention that this series is strictly for adults? Because it is. Judgment Boy makes you face extremely difficult choices, and TV Fish, a ghostly fish that just wanders around aimlessly, might be the most terrifying of the guests. It likes to project memories, particularly painful and blurry ones. You can't even trust the ones that seem friendly at first. Whether or not they help you, it depends entirely on their mood. A few other characters of note, as there's no way I could detail them all if I tried, are Roulette Boy.
Oh no, it's too late! This game is truly hell. All I can say is be prepared.
Spin me!
You have to play the game in order to escape this room.
If you get trapped in his room, you'll be forced to play a simple board game that has a significant chance of actually killing you. Then there's the Mirror of Truth.
I'm sure you already know this, but let me remind you. A mirror reflects substance. You should be able to figure it out now. It means that you are really nothing. Look.
See?
Yeah, you can pretty much guess what that episode's about. It's even more of a mind screw than the majority of the rest of the show. An entire season of the show will only take about an hour and a half to watch through. Consider it a new horror movie to check out. Actually, consider it 3.5. Yes, there's a half season. I wouldn't recommend that one. It puts too much focus on the comedy for it to really fit in with the show as a whole. That being said, the third season, which I haven't said anything about, is my favorite. I might get around to reviewing it at some point. The problem for you would be actually getting the series legally. It was released and aired everywhere but the United States. But we have the internet now! Since it was released in Europe, then you've got an easily accessible English translation. I don't know how impeccable it is, but it sounds pretty legit. It was legit enough for me to enjoy the series to its full potential, because they aren't dumbing down things for kids. I hate you for kids, I hate you. You can actually buy an individual volume for dirt cheap.
It was your choice. You get to live with it. Do you know who I am? They call me Judgment Boy.